What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. Today's video we're talking obviously Super Rugby Aotearoa, which kicks off this weekend, and the question obviously asked is, can the Crusaders be dethroned of Super Rugby champions? Obviously they won the first cup of the inaugural Aotearoa season in 2020 on what was a chaotic year of COVID-19, but Super Rugby Aotearoa brought the hopes back of having rugby on our televisions again after a long break. And what a tournament we were treated to. Some entertaining moments, some exciting moments, some disappointing moments, especially from the Chiefs. But hopefully this year of 2021 will be a better year for Sam Cane and his boys, because people are going to be watching. You know, there's a lot on the line for the Southern Hemisphere, trying to show up and say we are still the dominant figure. And when you got the Super Rugby like Aotearoa, you know it's probably the flagship game or provincial game of Southern Hemisphere rugby, because you got all the top New Zealand teams in it. And I mean, the Crusaders have been dominating provincial rugby for how many years? So they deserve the title and they deserve the name of that to be called. But you've got so many players to look out for, and so many players that are really quite extremely talented. I mean, you got Hurricanes. Jordie Barrett stands out as one of the guys who's going to really be the big name for the Hurricanes, as well as many others. Dane Coles, the captainship, the leadership, the discipline he needs to be watching. A lot on the line for him. Highlanders, Aaron Smith, one of the best scrummers in the world. He's going to want to take this team to another level. It's a tough road, but he can do it. And then you've got Anton Leonard-Brown, who's experienced and a player to watch. What can he do differently to help the team go forward? Blues are probably the team that I'm really curious about, because we all know the big names that they've got. Mr. Tutu came to form and all that. This year they're not with Bowden Barrett, but obviously Bowden Barrett wasn't the big talk of the town. It was Black, and he really did extremely well. So I'm really excited. Ioane is in there, and so many other talented players like Caleb Clark, who really came into his own in 2020. What can he do differently? What can he do to make him still a very good force to be reckoned with in this year of Aotearoa? And it's going to be phenomenal. I mean, then you got, last but not least, obviously the Crusaders. We spoke Highlanders. For me, a player to watch is obviously your Aaron Smiths. He's going to have to take the team from the front. Your leadership in Dane Coles, Hurricanes. Big moments. Chiefs, Sam Cane, Damien McKenzie. I mean, Damien McKenzie for me is going to be an interesting player to come about, and they need to improve of what was a very poor performance last year. Then the Crusaders, I mean, Will Jordan taking on fullback. I mean, one of the shining stars in 2020 Aotearoa season. He was really brilliant in every aspect of the game. He fought hard, he was determined, he took on every opportunity, and he was the talk of the town. And obviously this year you got Rishi Mwanga, who pretty much sits at the head of the table for fly-offs in New Zealand, as Bowden Barrett is now on a short sabbatical over in Japan. So now you got Richie Mwanga, who's leading from the front. What can he do differently? How can he make sure that the youngsters like Atira Black and all the other blokes aren't going to become a massive threat to him? He needs to stay there. Scott Barrett leading the team. What can he do differently? Obviously he had a few injuries last year, but now it's an opportunity for him to take on with Cody Taylor and all the boys. So there's so much to look forward to. And like I said, if I have to choose a team that could dethrone the Crusaders, it's probably going to be between the Blues and the Hurricanes. I just think there's a lot for these guys to play for. Chiefs have a lot to prove. We know they've done it before and they can do it again, surely. But they're going to be wounded still, I think, and they've got a lot to prove. So I'm not thinking that the Chiefs are going to win this year. Highlanders, great team, phenomenal talent, but I just maybe don't see them getting it. For me, it's between, if they can dethrone the Crusaders, obviously I'm going to go with the Blues or the Hurricanes. Obviously, as me being a South African, I do support the Blues for my New Zealand provincial team, but hey, the Hurricanes are a cracking team with great talent for us to look out for. So I think all teams could be a great force, and that's what I'm hoping. I mean, got a lot of respect for the Crusaders, but jeepers, I want another team to win. and it'll be great for the Blues if they can actually do it. I mean, what a comeback from a time when they also weren't in the greatest of form, but then they showed up. And I think that's one thing we need to also take into account with the Chiefs, to be honest, is last year was so bad. Maybe this year could be just so good. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting aspect, and we're going to need to see the Chiefs play New Zealand rugby, not what Gatlin brought in, which is trying to bring in the Welsh flair, which doesn't work in the Southern Hemisphere. Create your own type of system that works for your players, and that could be a good boost for the guys going forward. So the guys, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a phenomenal tournament, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how these guys come about. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Who do you think, if it's possible, could dethrone the Crusaders in the 2021 Aotearoa season? Hit that subscribe button. We are covering it all. That's going to do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, smash the thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you legends soon for another one. Stay safe and never give up. Cheers.